Welcome back, Commanders. It's Friday, and that means it's time for Alliance Briefing. This is episode 12, and this week we have a ton of news about Marvel Strike Force. There has been so much Marvel Strike Force news this week, it has been hard to keep up, along with the community outroar on the Overpower mechanic and how it might change how you have to build your rosters. So if you want to know more about this, then join me in this video.
Perfect time. I'm a free-to-play warrior, never pay to win.
Alright, so as I said, this week was a huge news week, and it started off with the new Age of Annihilus being announced. We're excited to embark with you all on the Professor Xavier saga, but we have big news on the horizon for Marvel Strike Force that we just can't wait to share. Interdimensional threat, like any other, is on its way to Nexus Earth, and it will change the landscape of Marvel Strike Force as we know it. The Age of Annihilus is coming. This was really cool. This was 3 YouTube videos. Go and check out the MSF YouTube channel to see these, and today with a really good Q&A stream with Ryan Jacobson. Love this artwork here for Annihilus. He is going to be amazing, I bet. But basically what it boils down to is that we are going to have a new age which is consisting of 3 chapters. Each of those chapters is, 4 chapters effectively, but 3 chapters which are going to have brand new legendary characters in them, and then a load of changes, a store update. It is absolutely unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to leave a link to this blog and the rest of the blogs down below. So then we had the April the 8th blog, which was again about the chapter structure for the Age of Annihilus, going over a little bit more on that. It's going to be another year-long journey, and this is no different to what they usually do. When Mephisto was just released, they were talking about Professor X as the next thing, so they're always trying to get you going with more and more and more and more content. Red stars are going to come for these legendary characters. These legendary characters are going to be basically free, a bit like the Lilandra that we've just done from the sounds of it. The red stars are going to come from, it seems like, scourges or trials, so that will be quite cool. There'll be a path to defeating Annihilus is never easy, but all legendaries will be earnable periodically after each chapter ends, but Annihilus waits for no one to make every day count. So we've got them here, and there is an actual little preview here, and we got some nice information in the Q&A tonight, and that is the fact that the first new legendary character is one who we have voted on, and here's the little silhouette here. And correct me if I'm wrong, but looking at that silhouette and based on who we voted for the Thunderbolts team, which was almost implied is the next team out, as this is coming very early on in May. I'm thinking this is Hyperion. Why don't you let me know in the comments down below what you think on this, and do you have any guesses for chapter 2 and chapter 3? And then Wednesday's blog, April the 9th, went over the Intel store. So this is the evolution of stores and currencies, and this is basically them putting their hands up and saying that the current stores that we have and the currencies that we have are massively out of hand. There are a few stores that they do have a handle on. Most importantly, like the Elite store with the diamonds and everything like that in them, and the costume store. But most of the other stores, they do not have in hand. We have more gold than they could really, reasonably charge us for items. So nothing in the gold store is really of any use. And if they were to put new items in the gold store, people would be able to buy them up at the rate of knots. Same with the Blitz store, same with the Raid store, same with the War store, Cosmic Crucible store, a very, very similar process. And I think that, they've put their hands up now, and that is on them. They just obviously didn't get to refreshing those stores quick enough, or made too much currency for those stores, so those stores became completely obsolete. Like, as soon as you got a new character in them, if you are anywhere near the mid to end game, you could max that character out within a couple of weeks of getting them. So they're doing a new currency and a new store. So this is going to be the Intel currency and the Intel store. There is going to be a legacy store as well, but the new Intel store is going to have new character shards. It's going to have valuable Crimson Gear, Purple ISO 8, L4 training modules, and other major resources. I am really looking forward to this, and they clarified some of this in the blog or in the Q&A tonight, that stuff that was in the Intel store will eventually make its way to the legacy store as well. So that shows that they're going to try and keep the Intel store quite possibly up to date. And then the legacy store will obviously get stuff go into it, which is a really, really good idea in my opinion. Well, let me know what your thoughts on this are in the comments down below. And the final bit of official news from Marvel Strike Force this week was some updates to the Vigilante team. Let's head over to this blog because I do want to really take a look at this in all its glory. Okay, so here we are, the updates to the Vigilante team. Sorry if you have already read this yourself. But basically, Daredevil Modern is getting a update to his special. So he is now going to apply slow for 2 turns, defense down for 2 turns on his special, offense down for 2 turns to the primary target. That's exactly the same. Attack the primary target 300% damage, and bonus attack the primary target for 300% damage. He's going to flip all negative effects into positive effects on self and all Vigilante allies. That is in all game modes now. That's going to be really good. Healing self and all Vigilante allies for 15% of this character's max health in all game modes. And he's going to gain taunt and defense up for 2 turns. So 2 of those things, the flip all negative effects and the heal self and all Vigilante allies, originally was tied to raids only. So that is a really good change for Daredevil Modern. Silver Sable here, Ultimate Flash and Clear, is now going to do the following. It is going to apply heal block for 2 turns and disrupted for 2 turns to all enemies, clear barrier from all enemies. In raid, it is going to clear charged from all enemies. On offense, if this character has 4 more Vigilante allies, reduce the duration of all positive effects by 2 on all enemies. Attack all enemies for 320% damage and apply +1 vulnerable up to a maximum of 5. So that all did pretty much what it was beforehand. However, now we also have on war offense. So on offense, on war offense, if there is at least 1 villain enemy, apply trauma for 2 turns to all enemies. So they've taken that off of raids, but has they've taken that off of raids, or is it in raids as well as on war offense? This is slightly hard to see. Apply trauma for 2 turns to all enemies. Apply ability block for 2 turns to 2 random support allies. And in raids, always do these actions instead. Okay, so that says that is in raids and in war offense, and then this attack gains a +500% extra focus and cannot be counterattacked. Passive Silver Merc. The change to this is the focus of this character and each ally can only be reduced by offense down. That is pretty good, you know. That's going to be a good counter to the likes of Cosmic Ghost Rider. I know he's not a awfully meta character, but he is still a plug and play character that can be used and might be used in the future in some of these other teams. Hitmonkey got an update to his passive. So now on offense, he's going to lower the revive chance of all enemies by 100%. So that's pretty damn good, in all honesty. You know, that is really, really good, because that is even out of raids, it looks like. So just when he's on offense, he's going to lower the revive chance of all enemies by 100%. And obviously, please note, information in this blog is subject to change before going live in the game. Wait, let me know what you think of all these Vigilante updates in the comments down below. And of course, the one big news topic which came up in abundance in the live stream from Marvel Strike Force today was about Overpowered. This is I think personally, a replacement progression system for spenders to try and get some value out of their money that they're putting into the game. And I've got to admit, for the first time in a very, very long time, and I know I'm going to get a ton of hate for saying this now, but for the first time in a very, very long time, I actually felt the disadvantage of being a free-to-play player. And you're going to ask me what happened. Well, I was in Arena this week, and one of the people in my Arena shard is a player called Asgaz. He belongs to the Alliance Questionable Proprietary, and he is definitely a spender. I see him all the time at the top end of the leaderboards, which you can't get to without spending some money. He has a Gear Tier 20 Thanos endgame and a Gear Tier 20 Odin. Now, with the new Arena counter, which there will be a video to this later on in here that you guys should watch if you have not already. With that, the Gear Tier 20 Odin is literally null and void in this new counter. It really doesn't matter if your opponent has a Gear Tier 19 Odin or a Gear Tier 20 Odin, you still smoke them. What did make the big difference was the Gear Tier 20 Thanos endgame. His passive going off, ow, that hurt. And that's what it should be, in my honest opinion. That is the type of advantage that a spender should have. And that advantage I will catch up to later on. I just have to manage my resources a bit, so I'm not going to be there right now. Why don't you let me know down in the comments below what you think of Overpower? I know that will be flooded with that you want it to be gotten rid of, but I do think that there is a system that needs to be in place to make the spenders feel good about their expenditure. Anyway, I was saying that the question was asked about Overpower, and they did open the stream with a answer to the question on Overpower, which is that at present, Overpower will be staying. They need to gather more data on Overpower, probably see what their numbers are looking like in players, how many players they lose, how many players they don't lose, how many spenders they lose compared to free-to-play players they lose, etc., 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 before they make any, decisions about this. And I think that is a reasonable response. Removing Overpower right now would be a complete and utter knee-jerk reaction. It is powerful, do not get me wrong. Is there a better progression method for it? Quite possibly. But will it be that big advantage for a decent amount of time for the Krakens and that? I don't think so if you're playing good with your resources. Okay, so first up on Signal Boost is Mobile Gamer 365 with Try This Team. This is the new arena meta that I was talking about. So we have Odin, Gore, Emma Frost X-Men, Apocalypse, and Old Man Logan. And this team will shred that Apocalypse, Odin, Gore, Gladiator, Null team that's on defense currently in Arena. So give this team a try. And if you aren't already, and I'm sure most of you already are, go and drop Mobile Gamer a sub if you haven't, and like this video to show him your appreciation on this video. Next up, Walking Hate comes in with some absolutely brilliant content. There are going to be 4 days left of the Sword Satellite, the Sword Battle Lab as it is right now, and you're going to want to try and get into those leaderboards. And if you can, Walking Hate has 7 teams here that will help you get into those top leaderboards. Go and check this out. Some of them I've been using myself as well, and I will have a video out tomorrow about this. They are teams that do work. There is some RNG in it, but there are teams that do work, so go and check this video out. Next up, we have Nooch 2 Good, and guys, he is a brand new player, but he is saying week 5 is free to play. What everyone in the community has been saying, and that is that there is a shortage of training materials. Now, some people might not have a shortage of training materials, but on the whole, the biggest bottleneck in this game, outside of T4s and diamonds, is training materials. I know in my build positively this month, I said that training materials were looking really good, and they are, or they were. But we've got to remember that was the anniversary month where we do normally get a ton more of goodies coming to us. So I definitely feel what Nooch is saying here. And if you are a newer player, go and check out Nooch's channel. He does do a weekly recap of his free-to-play experience in Marvel Strike Force. And last but not least, a content creator that is dear to my heart, but also a video that is dear to my heart here. This video is something that I've been wanting to say, but I've not really been able to address it properly. And every time I've tried, I've had to can the video. Anyway, Gideon XL comes in with this cookie cutter meta video and some obvious opinions on this new meta. I have my own words to weigh in on this, and while there are a vast majority of people, or there are a majority of people, a loud majority of people that want a lot of plug and play and all this other stuff, there is also a huge majority of people that just want to be told where to use things. And these cookie cutter teams that they're coming out with recently, where you have to have 4 members or all 5 members of the team to make the team work fully in their game mode. That is in response to the questions that people ask. You would be, if you don't check like Facebook, for example, or any of the other communities outside of like the big fully engaged communities, 99% of the questions that get asked are, I've unlocked this character. Where do I use them? What team do I use them in? And they've got to have been taking some of that feedback back to the team. And that might be, I'm not saying it is, but that might be what is pushing this content, this new cookie cutter team meta more and more, is because they're seeing a lot of people who are going, I've unlocked Mephisto. What team do I use him in? I've unlocked this. What team do I use them in? So, while, yes, someone like myself who is fully engaged would like more plug and play characters and more and less cookie cutter meta and more theory crafting, there is also a proportion of players that do not want that. And so maybe this is the balance that they're heading for. Who knows? Anyway, whilst you're over there looking at Gideon's video, give the guy a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, so we have the blog, The Race to Find Xavier. Greetings, Commanders. Here is your battle plan for April 12th through April 18th. Monday, we're going to have a resource strike pass. So that is going to be... your guess is as good as mine. I'm hoping that's training materials and stuff like that in there. That'll be good. Race to X. This is covered later on down in the blog. See No Evil, which is the weekly solo event, and Crimson Storm, which is the weekly alliance event. April the 15th at 2 p.m. PDT, or if you're like me in good old Blighty, 10 p.m. BST. We are looking at Battle World returning. Hooray! April the 16th, Path to Silver Sable Orb Fragments are going to be added to the Chaotic Storm Raid mission rewards. Cool. And then April the 18th, we have the Exceptional Quick Rumble, which is next Friday. The race to earn Professor Xavier begins. Basically, the conclusion to Age of X is on its way with the Professor X saga. Now, I can tell you this. The files for the individual missions for the Professor X saga is in the Datamines right now. I will be going through them after this video, but I will give you guys a quick sneaky peek at them in their raw form. There is a victory celebration, so the top 100 commanders are going to get this wonderful little player frame here. If you are in the top 10, which I'm going to guess that'll be the likes of Beta Ray Bill and now Cardano Mac, now that he's back, quite possibly, as well as a few others, they are going to get this red Dark Xavier frame and 3 diamonds for Lilandra. There is going to be community celebration gifts, so we are going to have a vote for a 100 character shard gift in an upcoming blog. The top 2 vote getters will be featured in an orb, and each orb will reward 50 shards. You can open each orb once or one orb twice. Choice will be ours. I really like that way of dishing out. I don't want them telling me what character I can, I want. I really like the fact that we get 2, a choice of, and I can choose, depending on where my stars are on my characters and the shards are on my characters, which character I either open all for or do I open for both. There's also going to be a week of 10 for 10 offers in the store, so keep an eye out for the start of those gems. Now, they're obviously putting this in here because they're expecting the Professor Xavier saga probably to be finished within this very first week, and I'm going to be keeping a close eye as to what is going on with the saga. The race to X. Professor Xavier is top priority of strike, so Commander Fury is inviting all commanders to join the mission in a special Race to X initiative. The requirements to begin the saga begin at Gear 17, so we encourage everyone who is ready to try the initial missions and enjoy the rewards, which promises key resources for your roster and Professor Xavier. Complete Professor Xavier's saga missions to earn X helms, first time rewards only, and make progress in the limited Race to X milestone to earn Professor Xavier red stars. So this is exactly the same as the crows that we were gaining from the Odin, from the Dark Dimension 8 node on the path to Odin. So where you got to within the saga was how many red stars you got for him. And that is that. I think now is a good time to just have a quick look at the data mines that I have going on live right now. Okay, so as I said, here we are. This is the Nimrod mission detail. So this is the first mission that you will be going into. Nimrod Hard 1, and the characters that are on the very first node. We have an Iron Patriot. We are going to have a Lizard. We have the AIM support heal. So that's the heal guy from AIM. We've got another Iron Patriot, and we have a Spider Slayer and a leader who's, but this is basically how the data mines come. So you can see I've got a lot of work ahead of me with this. This is the second wave here. So in the second wave, we're going to have a Lizard. We're going to have a AIM damage offense. We're going to have a Green Goblin Classic, and we are going to have a Craven the Hunter. Now, all of these characters are at level 90 and gear tier 17. With 7 yellow, 5 red, it looks like. Got an AIM tank taunt here. We've got another Iron Patriot. We've got another leader, and we have another Lizard. And then finally, we have a Spider Slayer and a Craven the Hunter. So that is everything from the very first node in the Nimrod part of the saga. Hopefully this will help you. I'm going to work on this tonight and see what I can get put up, and hopefully I'll have something up for you guys very soon. Anyway, back to the blog. Stand by for drop to Battle World. All hands on deck. Strikes Armada is preparing for another mission on Battle World. Each mission, including the null boss mission, will be 48 hours. Now, I've gone in game because you can actually go in and preview Battle World at the moment. I've looked in the data mines. There is nothing changed within the data mine, so there's no file update, there's no date update on the file for that, so that might come out later on. But currently, if you were to go in game and have a look at the preview of it, we still have the same 4 areas. There is no change. They mention here that there is a new skill trait mission, so I'm guessing that is still all to be loaded. But this does have me asking the following questions. If each mission is now 48 hours, does this now mean that Battle World is lasting 8 days rather than the 4 days that it was previously lasting? Or have they reduced the number of nodes to make it only last 6 days again? Who knows? We guess we're going to have to wait until Tuesday when this returns to see what is going on there. Command Center, King in Black. So this milestone that we have had in the milestones part of there, this is now going to the Command Center. It's the Null Redstone, Red Stars milestone. If you unlock Null during this April siege, this is how you'll earn his Red Stars. When you unlock him, you'll also unlock the special milestone King in Black. Play every day and blitz with Null to progress through the King in Black milestone and unlock Red Stars for Null. Now, last time we didn't have to blitz with Null, and I'm wondering, is this actually going to allow us to have more Red Stars on Null? Who knows? I guess we will find out next week when Battle World returns. We also have a Command Center event, Return of the Shadow King. Earn Command XP and character shards as you prepare for the next run of the Shadow King's trials. You're going to need to earn Shadow Orb fragments from ISO 8 nodes. Now, on Monday in the event video, I will go over this and tell you what it is worth spending on. Don't worry about that, but you know, is it going to be worth spending your ISO 8 energy on? We will see. Twitch drops are back again next week. 1 hour, 2 million gold, 2 hours, 200 power cores, 4 hours, 500 L, 3 training modules. And as I say every single week, if you were to spread that out over the course of the week, that is 35 minutes a day of having a content creator who is streaming Marvel Strike Force in the background. It even works on the Twitch app. I did have it work on there. I've got an iOS phone here. It worked. You know, I couldn't claim the rewards. I had to go on to the website, the Twitch website to claim the rewards, but I was accruing the time whilst watching it on my phone. So that is really good. You know, I have it on my phone whilst I'm cooking dinner for the family and stuff like that. So it just accrues my time over the course of the day. An X-Man in Space Week 3 events. We have See No Evil. We'll take a quick look at the chart for this in a minute, but battle in Cosmic Crucible with Starjammers, play Battle World, blitz with any Gear Tier 20 character, collect X-Coin Payday Orbs, and open up to 3 of the limited Daredevil Modern Diamond Orbs. You're going to get Daredevil Modern Character Shards, X-Coins, and gear. You're going to get the event item and the X-Men badges, and I will tell you now that this is the Daredevil Modern Unlock event, and it is very, very free-to-play friendly. Let's go and take a look at how free-to-play friendly it is. Okay, so we are now in the spreadsheet that I use for tracking the events and so on. And here is the See No Evil event that is going to start next week. It is a 7-day event. You're going to be clearing waves in Battle World. That is 5,000 points a wave with a 55,000 point limit. Earning X-Coin Payday Orb fragments. Now that is at the moment unknown where that is coming from. Funnily enough, in the blog that was given to and the charts that were given to the envoys from their video, there was a limit on this earn X-Coin Payday Orb fragments of 6,000 points. Which is why you'll see here I've got this 6,000 with a free claim beside it. But that has been taken off in the main blog. We're going to want to blitz with any character at Gear Tier 20. That is worth 10,000 points. You only need to blitz with 1 Gear Tier 20 character. That should be pretty simple. Use Starjammers in Crucible at 5, 6, and 7 yellow stars. Now you'll see here I've done this math just based on the 3 members that we should all have at 7 yellow stars by now, which is Groot, Rocket, and Lilandra. Everyone should have her at 7 yellow stars by now, even if you aren't overly engaged. And Groot and Rocket are 2 old reworked characters, which again you should have at 7 yellow stars by now. So just those 3 characters alone, that is going to give you 40,500 points over the course of the Cosmic Crucible next week. Battle in Blitz with Silver Sable at 6 yellow stars. That is definitely a spender milestone. Same with the open Daredevil Modern Diamond Orb. That is a spender milestone. We do have to talk about this though, because it seems like there is only 1 Daredevil Modern Diamond Orb available each week. And so they're almost sort of, how can we say? They're almost promoting hoarding those Daredevil Modern Diamond Orbs here, because there's no way you can open 3 in a week at the moment unless you hoard them, because you can only buy 1 a week. So that is very, very interesting. Anyway, so Battle World, 11 waves for the limit, 3 zones, 4 waves cleared per zone. That shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully you will have enough gear tier 20 to be able to gear tier 20 at least 1 character, maybe even your first character for the city section of the Professor Xavier saga. And so that will net you 10,000 points. Your payday orb fragments, I was guessing from the free claim. I don't know where that's coming from, but it was 6,000 points, which is very, very low, and really doesn't make height nor hair to where we get to here. The Star Jammers, as I said, in Crucible, that is going to give you 40,500 points. So you'll see here that the known free-to-play total at present is 111,500 points. Okay, so here is the table itself, and that 111,000 points will get you all the way down to milestone 15. That will get you the 625 X coins, which is the obligatory amount of X coins that we have been getting weekly from these events anyway. It will get you 100 Daredevil Modern shards, so you will have that Daredevil Modern unlock. It will also get you all the X-Men badges and the Cyclops visor. There is 3 million gold in there for you. There is a ton of Crimson gear here. Crimson skill gear as well, looking at this. Secret intel and lock cases. I know that's only gear tier 19 stuff, but still, it's one step closer to being able to get your Daredevil Modern to gear tier 20. Why don't you let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this week's main event. All right, so as we said, an absolutely huge week for Marvel Strike Force, and an even bigger week ahead of us next week with the Professor Xavier saga coming to life. How are you doing on your gear tier 20 stuff? Why don't you let me know down in the comments below, and whether you want to or not, why not just leave something down below in the comments, even if it's just an emoji for engagement. Thank you for your time, guys, and as always, I'll see you in the next video, and until next time, stay positive.